What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Scales 13. In today's video, we're going to be taking another look at my Leopard Gecko's bioactive enclosures. I made a couple small changes to the enclosures and I got something really awesome coming soon that I want you guys to see. Alright guys, so to start off with, we're going to check out Tiny Tim's enclosure. So this is pretty awesome because it's still early, and even though his lights have turned on, you can still see this little guy out and about. And he's doing really well right now, and he's just checking me out because he sees me in front of the enclosure filming him, and he's probably thinking he's going to get a feed, which we might do today if he's still out by the time I'm done filming this video and giving you guys these updates. So he's hanging out right now under his warm hide, which is a small log hide, which is directly under where his CHE is, and it gives him a couple different areas to warm up his body. He can warm up his body on top of the log, and he can warm up his body inside the log as well. But one of the changes in the enclosure that I have recently, if you look, is my jungle cactus here. Now, if you check out this jungle cactus, something that's very obvious is that I'm getting a lot, and I mean a lot, of new growth on this plant. So last month I changed the plant bulb that I have, which is right above the plants right here on both sides. I changed that to a different bulb that would actually give out a different color wavelength. And this bulb is actually giving off more of a yellowish light, where the last bulb that I was using was more of just a normal full spectrum lighting that gave off more of a whitish color. And I think this one's actually giving a better wavelength of light that is more suitable for the plant to grow in, because it's doing really well. It's growing very aggressively right now, and I'm really happy. The other reason I think it's due to this and not just due to the plant itself is because if you look at the other plant in the opposite enclosure, which is directly under the same light, the leaves were a little bit droopy before, and the leaves have actually stiffened up and started to pick up. And this jasmine plant, which is in Gecko's enclosure, is actually bright green now. And if you look at the very tip top, right around the center of where you see the stalks are, right about, I'm gonna point to it, right about there. If you guys look there, you can actually see that there's a little bit of yellow at the top, which means this one's getting some new growth as well, which I'm really happy. Looks like something spooked him because he's just crawling back into his hide right now. Okay, that's fine. So yeah, so these plants are doing really well, which is making me super happy. Another thing I did recently, which is just a little small bit of maintenance. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but I also found a great place to get some sphagnum moss, and I loaded up their enclosures with sphagnum moss. Now, the sphagnum moss seemed to last longer when I had the carpet in the enclosure, but here's the reason why. So since I have dirt in here and I have springtails and isopods, and this is a bioactive enclosure, when the sphagnum moss gets spread around, it tends to break down and decay. But that's what we want to see in a bioactive enclosure. We want to see a small ecosystem where it's doing a bit of self-regulation, where the insects can break down things that are dead and decaying and bring that back into the soil, rather than just sitting there and just getting stale and then you got to clean it out yourself. So it actually helps out a little bit on maintenance, even though I still have to do my routine cleanings of removing the urates from the leopard geckos, because springtails and isopods don't eat urates. Anyway, so another quick look at this plant here before I move off of the plant topic. See, this one's doing very well, so I'm extremely happy with that. Here's another thing that I did recently. So you guys might notice I have some more stones in here, and I'm actually going to load up the enclosure with a little bit more stone after this. The reason I did that is because I wanted the basking spot of the leopard geckos to have a little bit more ground cover. Now, even though I am using dirt and I'm using eco earth mixed together on the surface of the leopard gecko's enclosure, I don't want the entire floor to be nothing but loose substrate. I want there to also be some hard surfaces, not only for the animal to bask on, but to rest on, and to give them a choice of what they actually feel like laying on at the time. especially around the basking spot, because I want something that's going to absorb that heat really well and add different levels for thermal regulation for the animal to hang out at. And speaking of animals, if you look right here, you can see the fat little tail of Gex, my oldest leopard gecko, and he's doing the same thing, hanging out under his warm hide. It's actually not cold out today, so I'm kind of wondering why both of these guys are in their warm hides right now. But they're actually doing very, very well. Yeah, so what I wanted to do was give these guys more levels of heat, and I'm actually going to add some more stuff in the future of the enclosure. Also, another thing, guys, this is also another big announcement. So you know how I wanted to make this enclosure almost completely made of natural materials, but obviously I have a big plastic hide right here, and I have a big plastic hide right here, right? And I explained before that the reason I wanted to use these is because since these two hides are actually my moist hides, where I'm putting sphagnum moss for the leopard geckos to be able to shed properly, I didn't want to use a material that would break down easily like wood, because all that excess moisture could cause it to mold. It could also decay and break down, and I just want something that would last, since the humid hide obviously is the hide with the highest amount of humidity trapped within it, right? Well, I found a guy who actually not only builds enclosures but also builds custom hides for people, and I'm going to be ordering 2 custom built leopard gecko hides that are going to be able to hold the moist sphagnum moss, but they're also going to, so these custom hides I'm going to get are going to be made out of some materials that won't break down from the excess moisture, and they're actually going to have real rocks built into them, so that way they also give a very unique natural look. Don't get me wrong, this hide right here with this little rock outcrop looks really, really cool, but it's awesome to get something that's unique, where, you know, there's only one piece like that and you can't find anywhere else. So that's really cool. So when these hides come in, if I like them, I'll promote the guy in the next video that I do for my leopard geckos, and I'll actually add his links in the description, so that way you guys can actually get some cool hides like that as well. So that should be coming soon. As soon as it does, you guys will know, and I'll make a video about that, and that should be really awesome. All right, let's see if we can give Tiny Tim a feed real quick, just so this guy can get a snack before the video is over. So here we go. Let's see if I can get a good shot of this guy eating. Let's see. First, let's see if I can draw him out a little bit. Oh, he's right there in the front. Awesome. Okay. All right, guys, let's see. Oh, there he is, ready to eat. All right, let's see if he'll catch a nice super worm for us. You want this, buddy? You want it? Wow. Yeah, this guy plays no games with food. So later on, I'm actually going to make a story about this guy, and how I actually obtained him. So that way you guys can know in detail why I call him Tiny Tim, and why it's no surprise that this guy does not turn down a meal anytime he sees one. But all right, guys, I hope you guys like this update on my leopard geckos. It was really awesome to see these guys out with the lights turned on. Usually I don't see them come out of their hides until evening, and technically they are hiding, but they're in their warm hides right now. But it was still cool to be able to at least get a glimpse of these little guys. So let's see, let's get one more shot. Let's see if Gex has moved at all. Nope, Gex is right over in that same spot. He's probably right under the warm hide sleeping. That's perfectly fine with me. So anyway, guys, I hope everyone has a great day. Spring's a coming, so there's a lot of cool stuff coming. I have a lot of new updates I'm gonna have for you guys, and we're gonna have some really awesome stuff that's gonna be happening on the channel soon. Hope everyone has a great day. Peace.